Hello， 大家好，我是 Ariel 蔡培轩，欢迎回到我的 podcast Ariel 悄悄对你说。哇，不知不觉来到了我们第20集了。哇，想当初在做这个 podcast 的时候，应该是差不多疫情在台湾爆发前的几个礼拜，所以从应该是4月吧，到现在已经9月。哇，其实也默默的5个多月，快6个，快半年了。所以今天呢，想要来点不太一样的。平常我的 podcast 我都会写稿子，然后真的是很系统化的，我会就是一一的去分析啊，然后做我的调查，然后我会很认真的把我想要讲的东西写出来，然后再好好的录下来。那今天呢，我想要来个比较 freestyle 一点，就是想要跟大家 update 一下我这2个月，差不多快2个月在加拿大的这段时间。我觉得真的是一个很 life-changing event， 就是一个很改变我生命的一趟旅程。给大家一点背景，我3岁的时候从台湾跟家人一起移民到加拿大，然后我9岁的时候又回到台湾念国小3年级到国中3年级，所以国中毕业之后15岁我又搬回加拿大，一直到我大学毕业，也就是3年前我又搬回台湾，所以我其实在台湾跟加拿大的时间都差不多。那我也有接受2边的教育跟文化的洗礼。那其实在这3年台湾打拼的这一段时间，其实对我来讲很多时候是蛮不容易的。那可能因为是我的工作音乐吧，那也有可能是因为我们那时候是蛮习惯在加拿大的文化跟工作环境，还有我整个 community， 我的朋友啊，很多家人都在加拿大，所以我那时候回到台湾，其实对我来讲真的是困难，就是很挑战吧。那所以这一次能够回到加拿大，就过了3年，我真的觉得非常非常感动。那虽然是疫情，所以我一开始回到加拿大的时候，第1个月都待在家里，因为在这边必须要3天在饭店隔离，然后其他11天在家里隔离。那因为后来马上隔离完之后，我就打了第1剂疫苗，我就想说安全一点，我就待在家里多待了14天，就是让身体免疫系统能够好好的反应，我才敢开始出去。但是因为刚好打完疫苗，然后过了那2个礼拜之后，我又直接就是工作，就是我去拍 MV， 然后录音等等，都是自己一个人在这边完成。所以其实等我真正能够放假的时候，已经过了大概1个多月了。所以对我来讲，只有在这2-3个礼拜，我才开始真正有觉得有放假，然后能够见到以前的老朋友，能够出去走走的机会。但是我必须说，在这2个月的期间，我真的学到好多，我来慢慢跟你们分享。那么第一个呢，首先我就想说来跟大家分享一下，在我回加拿大之前最想念的食物是什么，因为每一个人都在问我。然后我发现在加拿大，因为我现在住在温哥华，这边就是很 chill， 就是所谓的 West Coast 西岸。那么大家如果知道东岸跟西岸的差别，就是通常东岸像多伦多那边就会比较繁忙，步调比较快。那在西岸呢，可能是因为不知道这边天气很温驯，然后靠海，所以每个人都是很 chill， 然后就是很 relax， 很享受生活。所以呢，我们这边没有什么太多的活动。其实尤其在夏天，应该是大家出门最活跃的时间。我们真的想一想，好像就是只有出去吃饭跟户外的运动，比如说爬山，比如说去划船，去玩水等等，好像就真的是这样欸。毕竟加拿大，尤其温哥华，就是所谓一个好山好水好无聊的地方。那么以前我会觉得很无聊，但我现在回来就会觉得好珍惜这边的好山好水，因为好像只有年纪越来越大的时候才发现，哇，大自然这个东西是非常非常有力量的。就是当我心情不好，就算不用心情不好啦，心情不管怎么样，只要走出去进入大自然，就会突然间一阵心旷神怡，有种豁然开朗的感觉，就会仿佛觉得在这么浩瀚的宇宙里面，这么美丽的大自然里面，觉得自己的问题好像微不足道。 不知道大家有没有这种感觉，可能如果你现在心情没有那么美丽的话，建议你可以出去外面走一走，去吸收一下这个芬多精，然后去享受一下大自然带给你的这个很奇妙的疗愈力量。好，那回到刚刚，在我回台湾之前，每个人都一直在问我说 Ariel 那你还想要吃什么东西？因为真的我们这边就是一直吃，然后一直出去走路这样。那在我回加拿大之前，我最想念的其实是温哥华的港式点心，还有温哥华风格的 poke， 就是夏威夷拌饭。那首先我要先说，我在台湾找了非常久的夏威夷拌饭，都一直没有找到最喜欢的。那可能是因为在加拿大温哥华的那个 Vancouver style poke 真的很不一样，大家如果来温哥华一定要吃。而且我昨天还问我朋友说，正统的夏威夷拌饭好吃吗？他说我觉得还是温哥华的比较好吃。就真的很好吃，它就是基本上是生鱼片，然后你可以选择是饭，或者是比如说糙米饭，或者是沙拉底，然后你可以选很多配料，比如说你可以选什么玉米啊、毛豆啊，然后什么那叫什么仿蟹柳啊、虾卵啊，重点是它的酱超好吃。反正我就觉得每次吃完我都觉得很开心，因为它蛮健康的，但是吃起来没有负担，又很好吃。总之推荐大家一定要此生去试试看这个 poke 叫做夏威夷拌饭 POKE。 那么另外一个是港式点心。为什么要特别强调这个港式点心？因为我认为全世界最好吃的港式点心就在温哥华。到底为什么呢？因为听我的香港的好朋友们说，其实在那个时候因为香港回归嘛，所以很多香港的大厨都移民到温哥华来，所以香港最棒的那些厨师们都在温哥华这边开餐厅，然后就是把这个港式点心做到一绝。所以我必须说在这边，尤其我住在Richmond， 它还蛮多华人，就是很多以前香港人会在这边生长的地方。那其实因为我以前在这边加拿大的时候，我的真的好朋友都是香港人，很少台湾人。那现在比较多内地的华人也在这边。那我们其实常常，尤其像我爸爸他超爱港式点心，我们以前都会每一个礼拜，像是礼拜天就是去完教会之后，中午我们就会一起去港式点心点这个洋茶，像我最爱的蝦餃、燒賣、叉燒包。跟大家说，我的广东话最厉害就是这个蝦餃。对，反正超爱港式点心。那么其实在我饭店隔离完的第一天回到家的时候，因为我朋友知道我超爱港式点心，他就直接帮我外带港式点心。然后那天我就觉得很感动，因为终于吃到我朝思暮想的蝦餃燒賣超赞的。建议大家如果来一定要吃吃看，而且这个是我香港朋友都认证过的比香港本身的港式点心还好吃。好，那么再过来也要跟大家分享，就是其实我在加拿大在隔离的第1个月的时候，我是第一次在家里尝试自己下厨。那么以前也有下厨经验啦，都是很简单，比如说煮个水饺啊，煮个蛋。但是因为就是回到加拿大，因为爸爸妈妈还在台湾，然后是我跟弟弟2个人在家，那弟弟是 work from home， 他就是在家里工作，所以其实后来我隔离完之后，我在家里很多时间我就是煮饭。而且我必须跟大家讲，我其实觉得我挺有天赋的，但我也毕竟是每一天我就是会花大概1-2个小时就是研究煮饭这件事情。我会看超多的 YouTube 影片。现在如果你看我的 YouTube 跟我的 Instagram 的那个探索 Explore Feed， 你会看到全部都是食物，真的没有在开玩笑，全部都是食物。然后我还试着比如说煎牛排啊，然后我做西式中式都有。然后跟大家说我现在超会煮蛋炒饭，不好意思，大概那个蛋炒饭是我做饭频率最高的一道菜，超会炒。希望有一天搞不好可以直播炒一下这个蛋炒饭给你们看。然后我也超会做酪梨蛋吐司，而且是那种酪梨水波蛋。 好啦，讲够了食物，虽然我真的是超爱说，我可以大概讲一整集、2集、3集都没有问题但是我要分享一下，就是我昨天其实刚从 Vancouver Island 回来，我去了一个3天2夜的算是露营的旅程，然后我们到了 Sunshine Coast。Sunshine Coast 就是在温哥华岛上面的一个算是小岛吧，然后超美。 Sunshine Coast 如果你直接翻译就是阳光海滩，就是我们坐了渡轮 ferry 从我们现在温哥华这边，然后到对岸的那个温哥华岛 Sunshine Coast， 我们一下船发现真的全部都是就是 sunshine 跟海滩，阳光跟海滩。大家如果有 follow 我的 Instagram 动态，你就会看到，哇塞，我怎么每天都在 po 阳光跟海滩，因为它真的就是阳光跟海滩的一个地方，非常美丽。那所以我们其实大部分时间都花在海滩上面。我有特别跟朋友一起去 canoe 跟 kayak， 就是划船，它算是非常 popular 的一个活动，就我记得以前在加拿大，我们每一年暑假都一定会去玩水，所以对于 kayak 跟 canoeing 划船这些东西，对我们来讲都是蛮常见的，然后也都是我们夏天非常期待做的一个水上运动吧。然后我前阵子大概3个礼拜前有去 Whistler 惠斯勒，那它冬天通常都是滑雪，那我以前冬天也有就是常常会去滑雪，我非常爱滑雪，真的非常好玩，建议大家如果还没有试过的话，此生一定要去一次好吗？答应我。那么夏天的时候就变成是去爬山，还有这个叫做溜索跟高空弹跳。那我打算是在9月底回台湾之前想要去高空弹跳一次。那上次我去惠斯勒的时候是去溜索，那我是人生第一次溜索，然后它真的是上去的时候真的有点可怕，但我其实兴奋比害怕多一点，因为我就是一个蛮喜欢这种挑战的人。然后我记得我就是站在那个溜索的最顶端，然后他就跟我讲说，哇，你们真的是很有勇气，第一次溜索就挑这么比较算是最高难度的，因为他那个溜索虽然是只有1分半，但是它下去的那个速度可以高达1个小时140多公里的速度，所以我还记得，因为我跟我朋友我们是第一批，然后我真的是还因为有朋友在旁边我才敢踏出那一步，不然要踏出那一步真的非常难，你要就是直接跳下去然后放开，然后我手上还拿这个 GoPro， 而且它没有任何链子，所以老实说我觉得我最大的害怕来自于弄丢我手上那只跟朋友借的 GoPro 但是我必须说刚开始下去的时候我们真的狂尖叫，因为真的太可怕了，就你就觉得整个人好像失控，但是差不多过了前10秒钟我就适应了，然后就开始看到就是旁边整个山啊水啊，你可以看到整个就是很美丽我们这个卑诗省 BC Province 的风景，然后就在空中我觉得哇这感觉真棒，有一种很像鸟在空中自由翱翔，有阳光，然后有新鲜的空气，然后你可以看到蓝色的海绿色的山，真的是非常非常享受。所以那时候我还想说可不可以不要停不要停不要停，反正我有把画面用 GoPro 记下来，还好我从头到尾就是死命抓着那个 GoPro， 所以到时候可以把这个影片放在我的 IG 或放在我的 Facebook 跟大家分享，真的是挺有趣的。那么到时候如果高空弹跳也再跟大家分享。那么其实我现在在加拿大也剩大概2-3个礼拜了，因为已经 book 好我的机票回去了。因为在这边除了刚刚跟大家分享好吃的食物，还有好玩的这些户外活动，那其实我觉得我最珍惜的是跟这边人与人的连结怎么突然觉得人与人连结现在讲起来还是很好笑。 OK， 人与人之间的 relationship。那其实我在加拿大真的是很幸运，有一群很棒的朋友，不管是我在这边高中大学还有在教会，我基本上真的一回来加拿大就觉得有一种家的感觉，然后这些朋友我都已经认识可能很多都10年以上了， 然后虽然很久没有联络，这3年大家都没有办法见面，但是一回来就觉得仿佛好像又回到以前一起玩乐的那种感觉，所以我真的心里非常的感动。那其实我学到最多的在这趟旅行应该是在跟这些朋友的对谈当中吧。其实我每一次跟不同团的朋友一起聚的时候，我都会问他们一个问题，我就说我们现在就是差不多都25、26岁，有一些可能比我年纪还大，我就会问他们说，如果过了5年之后，你会期许自己成为什么样子的人，或者你觉得你5年之后应该会是什么样子呢？让我觉得最震惊的是，大部分的人他们不会 focus 在工作上面。当然啦，工作很重要，我觉得其实这些朋友也都很优秀，工作也都表现非常优异，然后薪水也很好，很多都是药师啊，有医生啊，有律师啊等等，大家都是很优秀，但他们没有把重心放在工作上，他们的重心反而是在家庭跟关系当中。每一个人都会跟我说，哇，我希望5年之后，假如说比如说30、35，我希望我会有一个很幸福美满的家庭，我希望我的生活是很有品质的，我有一个 work-life balance。 我觉得这个是关键在加拿大，尤其温哥华这边，每一个人注重的都是 work-life balance， 也就是生活跟工作的平衡。那他们会认为工作虽然很重要，赚钱很重要，但是生活这件事情更重要。一起生活的人，你的朋友、你的家人、你的另外一半、你的小孩更重要。所以对我来讲，其实是一个很大的冲击跟提醒吧。以前就算在加拿大的时候，我也是一个非常努力用功的孩子跟学生，我只想着我的目标，只想着我的事业，然后我其实算野心也蛮大的，所以才会放弃我的药学，回到亚洲，回到台湾做音乐。那尤其在台湾，大家也是以工作为第一，拼，然后再一次回到加拿大的时候，我突然间觉得对，到底人生最重要的是什么？我到底工作这么累这么辛苦为的是什么？那尤其是对我这种就是常常会过度努力要求完美的人，我突然间觉得有一种哇我被打醒的感觉所以在这段期间，我常常不断的去思考，到底我未来想要的是什么。我现在身为一个创作歌手，我还算年轻，然后我前面还有很长的一段路可以努力打拼。然后我在加拿大这一段日子，我原本是可以好好放松，但是我也跟公司就是要求说，我想要在这边继续我的工作。然后我也是把自己前阵子弄得很累，压力很大，因为我全部要自己一个人 handle 所有的音乐、拍 MV 等等。但是我是很快乐的，因为我觉得这是我喜欢做的事情，但我又必须同时去顾虑我的工作跟我的生活还是要有平衡。所以在这边再一次让我知道对 Ariel， 你有时候也要放慢脚步，你也要好好的照顾自己的身体，你要好好照顾你生活的品质，好好照顾你的内心的健康心理状态。所以我就觉得回到这边，尤其我又今天看到一篇报道，是在哈佛他们做了一个研究，他们好像做了几十年的这个研究，他们发现其实到最后人到老的时候，不管你身体健不健康，只要你是有很棒的 relationship， 你是有很棒的一个家庭，你跟其他人之间是有很棒的关系，有朋友有家人的 support 跟支持，不管你的身体状态如何，你都会活得比较快乐。所以他们就最后结论是，快乐的秘诀，你要长期快乐的秘诀都是在于跟人建立好的关系，然后你有好的朋友跟好的家庭。所以我才觉得对我来讲，这个真的是一个很大的转变，尤其可能在疫情，你也可能碰到同样的一个算是挑战吧，可能逼你去想，对，到底现在生命最重要的是什么？好像就是身体健康，然后能够跟你爱的人在一起，我觉得那好像才是最重要的。 我记得前几天我们就在 Sunshine Coast 旅游，然后我们就经过了一个小超市吧，就是那种户外的市集，然后就跟那边有一个白人在卖水果开始聊起天，然后他就跟我讲说他其实是平常会住在温哥华，然后但是到了假日他就一定会坐渡轮回到 Sunshine Coast 这个小岛上面，然后我就问他说为什么要这么累，他就说因为他在 Sunshine Coast 买了一大片的土地，可以自己种田，给自己种蔬菜种水果，他就觉得很享受。对于他来讲，这个就是他的工作跟生活一个平衡的方式。他平常可能还是会努力工作，但是他有时间他就会跟家人一起来到他这个小岛上的这片小土地，然后种这些东西，然后顺便可以卖给大家。然后我就觉得哇，这种生活其实也是很棒啊。以前可能我就会觉得谁要那样子啊，我才不要浪费时间，就是好好享受生活。我现在就是要全力拼事业，把我所做的一切都 focus 在事业上面。但是我就会觉得我这么努力，到底我的人生是 work to live 还是 live to work 呢？也就是到底我的人生是为了工作而活，还是为了生活而才去工作呢？好啦，总之呢，我希望这接下来2-3个礼拜我还能够好好的去放松，但我还是会工作，大家不用担心，我还是一个工作狂我还是努力告诉自己要 chill 放轻松，好好享受我的假期。我可能还是会多多回去一些我以前常在这边，比如说我的大学的一些制造很多回忆的地方。我已经回我大学2次了，但我还想要回去第3次，想要去我以前常常读书的一个非常漂亮的图书馆。我以前的目标就是要在那边至少有一次能够在那个图书馆不是读我的课本，而是好好的读一本书，然后看着那一片落地窗外面反射的太阳，然后就慢慢看太阳下山，这是我的目标。不知道这次旅程能不能达成呢？还有呢，我的另外一个目标还要完成的就是到那个渔人码头去买新鲜的海胆，然后把它拿回家里，自己把它解剖挖来吃。这以前我在加拿大常做，而且这边的海胆真的蛮便宜，因为他们都是新鲜现采的，又很好吃。我就把它挖出来洗一洗，然后就放在白饭，然后配海苔。跟大家说真的是非常享受。我好想要现在就跑出去买。好啦，那总之大家可以多多继续 follow 我的 social media， 我都会固定的跟大家 update 一下我最近的生活。那希望大家不管你现在人在哪里，也都能够好好的去思考一下你的生活跟工作是否有好好的平衡，然后希望无论如何我们都能够好好的享受生活，也珍惜身边这些带给我们快乐的人。因为我真心相信长期快乐的秘诀真的是建立好的关系，然后能够好好的去爱，也好好的被爱。谢谢大家今天来听我的 podcast， 任何的 comment feedback， 任何想对我说的你都可以留言，也别忘记订阅跟追踪我的频道。然后最后呢，想要用这一首歌曲送给大家，它叫做勇敢站立。那它其实是一首诗歌，然后是我今年4月的时候，差不多也就是我开始筹备这个 podcast 的时候写的歌。那个时候其实处在一个蛮对生命跟工作有点迷惘的状态，所以那天去完教会，刚好复活节，我就回来写了这首歌，告诉自己要勇敢，然后也是透过信仰的力量让我能够重新站立。那很开心的是上礼拜我才得知，因为这首歌我有拿去投稿诗歌创作比赛个 TV 的，然后他有得奖，他得了这个金传奖，所以还蛮开心，也谢谢很多小人们在这当中也每一天帮我去投票，所以这首歌就送给你们，希望我们都可以一起勇敢站立。那就 enjoy， I'll see you next time， 拜拜。 之前怎么配得你的保险？耶稣，我需要你每天跟着靠近你的心意，将我抱紧。如果不是有你，我又会在哪里？你定恒的双手使我勇敢站立。我再次来到你面前，我不想再被世界追，寻寻觅觅多累，最后还是不见。你说我是多么珍贵，我的生命已被你赎回，只要享受你的恩典。耶稣，我需要你每天更加靠近你的心意，将我抱紧。如果不是有你，我又会在哪里？你定恒的双手使我勇敢站立。我呼喊你，高举秘密，没有人像你能如此触摸我的心。耶稣，我需要你每天更加靠近你的心意，将我抱紧。如果不是有你，我又会在哪里？你定恒的双手使我勇敢站立。Hello everybody, welcome back to my podcast Ariel's Whisper. Today I want to do something a little bit different. So usually I have a script for my podcast, just about what I want to say, just to make sure I don't say the wrong things and I actually do my research. I analyze and I conclude and it's all very systematic. But today I just thought that I would do something a little bit different because it's been 2 months since I came back to Canada, and I just thought that it would be quite nice if I do a spontaneous and also honest review and reflection of how I've been in these past 2 months. So yeah, yesterday I just came back from Sunshine Coast, which is on Vancouver Island. I was there for 3 days and 2 nights, and it was really, really relaxing. It's literally sunshine and coast everywhere. We took a ferry from Vancouver to Sunshine Coast, and the moment we landed, it's just all clear skies, blue water. It's just so relaxing, so chill. I just thought that, wow, I could just stay here forever. Like literally I caught myself spacing out so much because I was so enjoying the beautiful nature. I would just sit there and like stare at the waters or the skies for like a good 10 minutes without moving or even without thinking much. And I thought it was just such a good recharge, especially for someone like me who's always very on the get-go, you know. I'm always very perfectionist. I think a lot about like what to do next, my goals, how to achieve them. So I would say that this trip back to Canada really allowed me to slow down, really allowed me to rethink what is most important in life. So yeah, before I start, I thought I'd just give you guys a little background if you don't know already. I was born in Taipei, and then I moved to Vancouver with my family when I was 3 years old, stayed here till 9 years old, and moved back to Taiwan again for another 7, 8 years until I graduated from junior high in Taiwan when I was 15. And then I came back to Canada again for the rest of my education. So basically my senior high school 3 years, and then plus college, pharmacy school, that's another 5 years. So that's like 8 years in total. And after I graduated, I decided to move back to Taiwan for music. So I would say I have a pretty good balance of both the Asian and Western culture. I think I spend equal amount of times in both places. And this has really allowed me to have perspective, I guess, both on the education, the culture, on both sides. So coming back to Canada this time after just being in Asia and just working there after I graduated for 3 years, I think it has made such a significant impact on me that I would even describe it as life-changing. Like coming back, first of all, I had to quarantine at a hotel for 3 days and then 11 days at home. But then I got my first dose of vaccine and I just thought I would stay at home for another 2 weeks just to make sure my immune system is building up and responding well to the vaccine to protect myself. So I literally stayed at home for a good month before I actually started to enjoy my vacation here. But I would actually say that this whole month of being at home, I don't know why, even though I was at home, just being in Vancouver makes me feel grounded, makes me feel very relaxed, and makes me feel that even though I'm not doing much outside, I still feel like I'm on vacation. I was doing a lot of work, and I'm still working a lot, but I just feel very peaceful. And I often wonder if it's just because everything is just very spacious here. It's very associated with nature. I would say that Vancouver has such a good balance of both the city-urban feels and also the nature-rural aspect that you can just like drive for, let's say like 20-30 minutes and you can just go to different mountains to hike. You can do a lot of outdoor activities while still staying pretty close to, let's say, downtown Vancouver where you have all the city. I think I love Vancouver for that. It's just the perfect combination. And I think I've concluded it's just because I'm such a goal-getter that just being here in Vancouver really allows me, or kind of even pushes me to slow down, pushes me to just breathe, enjoy the nature, and just enjoy life in general. Okay, so before I start with, I guess, like the whole other reflection or like life-changing epiphany moment that I had being here, I thought I would just start out with some fun things, such as people commonly ask me, what is your most missed food here in Canada? Before I came back, I was like, that's a very hard question because I absolutely love dim sum. And it's so hard to find good ones after you have tasted dim sum here in Vancouver. My Hong Kong friends always joke about how even when they go back to Hong Kong, dim sum does not taste as good as the ones here. Why? Because I think during 1997 to like the 2000s, all the chefs, like the really good chefs in Hong Kong, immigrated to Vancouver and they opened up their restaurants here. So like here, dim sum is just top notch, I remember when I was here studying and with my family here, we would go to dim sum literally every week. Like in school, no joke, people know me as like, oh, she Ariel's like the dim sum girl because she just goes to dim sum with her family like every week. Even though at dim sum, usually you see more elderly people just sipping on their tea and reading newspapers. You would definitely see me every week, especially like Sunday after church. Like my family and I, we would just like go to Yam Cha and we just sip on our teas and talk. So I really miss that. And just coming back, I haven't really dined in at a dim sum restaurant yet, but I remember on the 4th day of my quarantine, I was leaving the hotel and coming back home, my friend actually surprised me with dim sum, and I was really touched. It was dim sum takeout, but I was still just like, oh, I miss this so much, and it just feels so good to have this again in Canada. Another food that I really liked, it's not poutine, which is what Canada is known for. And if you don't know what poutine is, basically fries with gravy plus cheese curds. Sometimes they add in bacon bits, but it's a little bit too heavy for me. I'm more on the healthier side now. Like my other favorite food from Vancouver is actually Vancouver style poke. Okay, I know it sounds funny because like the two food items that I miss the most, they're not even like, I guess, authentically Canadian, but they just taste so good here. Like literally, I feel like Vancouver is such a big like immigration city that all the food items here are so authentic because they're actually from, the people who immigrated here that like carry their authentic, I don't know, cooking talent, skill or whatever. So it just tastes extra good here. Vancouver style poke apparently is even better than the Hawaiian poke. Like I asked my friend yesterday who went to Hawaii a couple times, I was like, oh, so how's the real deal poke there? She's like, honestly, Vancouver is much better because you get a lot of choices of the sauces or like the toppings, the items that you want to put, so there's more variety. And I'm like, you know what? I totally agree, because even in Taiwan, it's so hard to find really good poke, and I always kind of get a little bit disappointed. So if you guys know any good poke places or dim sum places in Taipei, please let me know, because I'm going back very soon at the end of September, and I think I will be missing my dim sum and poke very soon again. So yes, please comment below if you have any recommendations. I would thank you forever. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that I went zip lining for the very first time at Whistler. It was a couple weeks ago, and honestly, I've never thought that I would become an adrenaline junkie. I think I always play things by the safe side, and I wasn't really into extreme activities until recently. I don't know, just coming back to Canada, I feel so liberated, and I feel like, you only live once, YOLO. You should use money to buy experiences instead of buying, I guess, materialistic things that don't really last. I just started being more adventurous. Maybe I am adventurous, like deep down inside, but I was just being very cautious and all that. But now at the age of 26, I'm like, you know what? Before 30, I really want to try out some extreme activities before my body cannot handle it anymore. So I went to ziplining, and the person was like, oh, good for you. For your first time ziplining, you chose like literally the most intense one out of all the ziplining options here at Whistler. So it was really fun, but also really scary at the same time when I had to take that step out and just let go of myself hanging there on the zip line. And thank goodness I had a friend beside me, so I kind of could not bail. Like we were counting down 3, 2, 1. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna push myself down. And to be honest, looking back, I felt that I was more scared of losing that GoPro in my left hand that I borrowed from my friend than just losing my life. I was like, oh my gosh, Ariel, do not let go of that GoPro. And I'm very thankful that I had that GoPro with me to kind of document like the first 10 seconds of me just screaming so loud. But then after those 10 seconds, I felt very at peace. You kind of get used to it. And you just see yourself being surrounded by such beautiful nature around you. You see the beautiful skies, the sun is on you. You look down, there's like mountains and rivers. And at that moment, I really felt like a bird, very free flying in the air, and it felt awesome. So I would totally recommend, if you're not afraid of heights and if your body allows, zip lining is definitely a great option to just experience the nature. And there's also very easy ones. You don't have to do the one that we did, which like apparently went up to 140 kilometers per hour for the speed. But you can do those like easier ones where they actually kind of give you a tour and you can just like let yourself breathe when you do the zip line. And I'm actually thinking of doing a primal swim or perhaps bungee jumping before I go back to Taiwan. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll document that with GoPro as well and share with y'all on my social media. So remember to follow me on my Instagram stories, especially because I regularly update what's going on in my life out there. But yeah, another thing that I really want to try before I go back to Taiwan is grouse grind. So Vancouver is quite known for its hikes, and this grouse grind is especially very challenging. It's not really that much of a view hike, like you don't get views along the way while you hike, but it's very challenging for people who are fit because it's constantly a steep hill going up. So it's like challenging your hamstrings, your quads. There's like crazy people who challenge themselves to get season passes and they do it every day as their workout. So usually I think people spend around like an hour and a half to 2 hours to do the grouse grind, but crazy people can go up to like only 30 minutes and they complete it. So last time, I remember just before going back to Taiwan, I did the grouse grind twice and my time was like an hour and 10 minutes to 20 minutes. And I would like to challenge myself to go below 1 hour. So we'll see how that goes. I've been doing hikes a lot this past week and like almost every single day I'm like, my legs are dying. Even though I work out a lot, I just think that it's a different kind of cardio and it doesn't necessarily translate to another type of activity such as hiking. So yeah, I'm training my legs to be stronger. Just cherishing all the times here in Vancouver, doing all these outdoor activities and just being alive in the nature. And I guess that's the power of nature too. No matter what problems you're facing right now, the moment you step out into nature, it's as if your worries just kind of dissipate. I think it's also because when you step out into nature, you realize how insignificant and how small you are and your problems are in comparison to this grand, majestic Mother Nature. So I love being in nature, and I really wish that all of you can also feel what I was feeling. Even though you might not be in Canada right now, even just, stepping out of your doorstep and just breathing in some air, allowing your mind to calm down. Just look up at the sky and just close your eyes and take a moment to breathe and just appreciate the nature and appreciate how life has been for you. All right, so that was not even like the most memorable part of my trip. I think those activities they were really, really fun. But for me, what really kind of changed my life and my perspective was the fact that I got to catch up with a lot of old friends. And I'm actually really, really thankful for such great friends since high school, university, pharmacy school, my church. I'm so grateful for such a great community here in Vancouver. It just makes me feel like home. And just seeing all these friends that I've known for 5 years, 10 years, even more than 20 years, it just makes me feel that I'm so blessed that I'm able to catch up with them. And even though we haven't seen each other for so long, the moment we see each other and we click right away, and just happy for whatever they're doing, it just makes me feel so content. It makes my heart feel so full. So yeah, I think what happened was that every time I hung out with an old friend just catching up, I would always ask them, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or where do you see yourself at 30 or 35 or 40? And what amazed me was the fact that all of them, even though right now they're all doing really well, they're all really smart, they have great jobs, they're ambitious and hardworking, but all of them, their answers revolved around family and relationships. A lot of them said that they hope by the age of 30 or 35, they will have a nice family, they'll get to have good work-life balance, which I think this work-life balance is really key here in Canada, especially in Vancouver. People really value the quality of life. They don't allow work to overconsume them. They don't allow work to stress them out too much. And they really make sure to take care of their mind, their spirit, their mental health, and just their life in general. They really focus on being present and just living. So I was really amazed because this is such a big contrast to the working culture in Asia, where we constantly work overtime. And especially for my work, being a singer-songwriter, there's no certain break time or break day. As in, I feel like I'm working 24/7, thinking about what to do for my career always, what song I should write, what music work I should do right now. And it came to a point where I almost felt guilty taking a break. I would go on vacations, but in the back of my mind, I would be like, oh, I should have used this time to do something productive for my work. And it was actually very unhealthy and toxic at times because my brain was just restless. And even sometimes during sleep, I would still dream about work because it's just all mixed up. And I was just very confused also why it just didn't also give me happiness when I was supposed to do the thing that makes me the happiest, which is music. So I think just being here in Vancouver and talking to my friends and seeing how they live their lives really pushed me to rethink, okay, what matters the most in life? I've been working really hard and I've always been that overachiever since young. I was always that, awarded student, and I followed the rules really well. I got my pharmacy degree, and I'm even at company right now in Taiwan. Colleagues would always be like, yeah, Ariel is like super hardworking and like she really tries hard and she fights for every opportunity. But then at the end of the day, I ask myself, is this making me happy? And what I am working for makes me happy? Is it worth it? And then I realized that maybe I focused too much on my career and I lost sight of how important the other things in life are. So this morning I actually came across this article where it's a research conducted by Harvard, and it's been going on for actually a few decades. And they've concluded that the secret to long-term happiness is actually relationships. So they found out that no matter what your physical health is like when you're old, it doesn't matter as long as you have healthy relationships around you. So you have a good family, you have a good spouse. Compared to being lonely, having good relationships around you actually make you happier regardless of your physical condition. And I thought that was pretty interesting because a lot of times now in society really focus on goals, like setting goals and achieving them, being productive, being successful, and just aiming high in general. I don't want to say that that is wrong because we all need a drive to keep working hard. We all need to make money, right? But I just feel like sometimes we forget to ask ourselves if we live to work or do we work to live? So these past 2 months, I've really kind of just allowed myself to adjust. I still work a lot, especially when I first came back to Canada during quarantine. I was cooking a lot, which was a new hobby that I picked up, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, wow, I never thought that I would enjoy the slow lifestyle. Like even just waiting for the water to boil, I was just standing there. I was like, wow, I'm like savoring this moment of just being present and waiting for the water to boil. But yeah, I've taken up like cooking, and I really enjoyed it because I just love food, find it very therapeutic. And besides that, I still do a lot of work. I was still quite a workaholic. I think it's just part of me, part of my nature, especially just coming back from Asia, and that's also the work culture there. But over the course of time here, I've slowly allowed myself to slow down more and tell myself it's okay and I should be enjoying doing nothing at times. I should be enjoying my breaks properly without feeling guilty or without having constantly work thoughts in the back of my mind. And yesterday, just coming back from Sunshine Coast, just me spacing out in the nature, I really felt happy. For a very long time, I haven't felt that peace. I'm just so glad I'm able to find that after so long and after just being here and enjoying life. So yeah, I just want to share with you, no matter where you are right now, no matter what you're doing, I hope you also find a good work-life balance, and I hope you also just get to think about what you really cherish and value the most in life. I do wish that we will all find the key to long-term happiness, and that's the most important, right? To live life happily and healthily, to foster meaningful relationships, to love and to be loved. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I still have so many things that I want to do before I go back to Taiwan. I'll for sure let you guys know, and feel free to also comment below any thoughts or any things that you kind of resonate with. And don't forget to subscribe and follow me. And oh my gosh, like as I'm recording this podcast, do you guys notice a difference between right now my tone and just like the style of my podcast compared to the very beginning when I was in Taiwan? Don't you find me right now like much softer and laid back and chill and just more relaxed? Or is it just me? I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can definitely tell. Right now I'm just like living the life. Hopefully I can carry that same attitude back to Asia when I'm working. And yeah, you guys can also keep me accountable and remind me as well. All right. And lastly, I just wanted to introduce this song to you at the very end of this episode. It's called Strong, 勇敢站立. It's a song that I wrote this year in April. I was going through quite a tough and confused time just in terms of life and work. And it happened to be an Easter Sunday, went to church, and I felt very, very encouraged and inspired. So I came home and I wrote this song to remind myself to be strong. I'm just very grateful that my faith really gave me that strength to stand back up strong again. So yeah, enjoy the song, Strong, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
我再次来到你面前，我无法再一人面对，还好有你安慰，温柔为我擦泪。我发现我多么疲惫，在接受你的恩典之前，怎么配得你的保险？耶稣，我需要你，每天跟着靠近你的心意，将我抱紧。如果不是有你，我又会在哪里？你冰寒的双手是我